What's up, Snoop Reviews here, and we're here with another chapter. Well, two chapters. Yeah, we're gonna do chapter 920. I love Oden, and get a cover page of Sanji and Zoro. So we've reverted back to the cover pages where Zoro just draws Zoro. Oda just draws some of the fan concepts they send in. A lot of people like send him in letters asking him to draw different scenes between Straw Hat characters and animals and other One Piece characters. But yeah, so you got Zoro and Sanji. Apparently, the person asked for Sanji and Zoro fighting in their dreams, and what Oda did is he drew Sanji and Zoro both all beaten up. They got welts on their head, probably from Nami knocking them unconscious for fighting, and they're dreaming about who won each other in the fight. And you got Chopper like jumping next to Zoro, and Zoro's dreaming. Zoro's just like, yeah. Sanji's legs up in the air. They got Zoro unconscious with a lump on his head, and Sanji's dream with Nami holding Sanji, and Sanji just has this really kind of creepy looking happiness from it. But yeah, so we take off back on Oden Castle, the ruins at least, and they're just kind of explaining that this castle once stood here at Curry. The actual name before it was Oden's Castle was Curry Castle, but Oden loved his people so much, the residents of Curry, that the castle was called Curry Castle, and so they're kind of talking about Oden in this chapter specifically, and Momo's proud of his dad. He really had admiration for him, and you get a silhouette. I think this is Oden. He looks kind of wild. I didn't expect him to look like that. The silhouette, he has like this weird, almost looks like a chef cap, or it's like a mushroom topped cap. It's weird. And then he's got, of course, a samurai sword, katana on his shoulder, and he's just wearing this kimono. You can't really get much out of it, but it kind of seems like he's got a bit of a gold, or he's got a weird lean back stance. But apparently, when he was younger, Oden was a bit of a wild card. I mean, that's what Kinemon goes on to talk about. He's saying, despite being the son of Wano country's shogun, the Kazuki Lord Sukiyaki, that's, I guess, his father's name. But he got in fights all the time, and so they exiled him from the flower capital. And he kind of went and lived in the lawless area of Wano during, so I guess probably 30 years ago would be my guess. But there's tons of like criminals in Ronin that lived in these lawless zones, and they used to rob and kill people every day, and it was so bad that they couldn't do anything about it. So the rest of the capital just kind of ignored the issues going on here, and that was Kiri. So they're all kind of shocked because the Straw Hats have came in to Kiri and seen like the kindness and the sweetness of all the people that actually are from that town originating there. And it's kind of sad to see it revert back to being a lawless zone. It's like, yeah, everything that Oden's done is being desecrated right now. And so Oden, he came to this lawless zone, and he started a big fight with like the biggest baddest dude in the whole town, Ashura Doji, which I don't know if that's gonna come back big or not. He might be related to that Shutenmaru guy we're gonna get into later. It seems like he's gonna play a decent role in this story. I didn't expect that. I thought he'd be kind of a side character, but that's how it feels like it's rolling now. And he was considered, so yeah, Ashura Doji was considered, the strongest and most terrifying guy in the lawless zones. And Oden challenged him to a fight, and he defeated him really quick. So after, he just rounded up all the lessers, cut the head off the snake type deal, got all the other guys, and started to try and reform kind of this lawless zone. Started, hiring a lot of these guys for work and putting them to work, building up these farms, and building up a decent town. Adding infrastructure to this lawless zone. And so after some time, his father Sukiyaki acknowledged what he'd done and made him a daimyo of Kuri. And at the age of 20, which is really young to be a daimyo, I'm sure, but it was a huge achievement. And so he connected Curie to the rest of the capital and added it and made it into this well-lived area. And the one thing that I guess he always says is it's too cramped here. You know, there's too many people. Everything is too lush, kind of deal. And that's the end for this section talking about Oden. But then we cut over to Zoro. Get a nice full-length panel again of him. Oda's really showing off Zoro, giving them the fandom a real giving the fandom a real you know, fan service, Zoro fan service. But yeah, gotten a ton of Zoro fan service this arc already. He's already on his own again, and he's gonna probably get into some interesting stuff. But he, you know, he's walking around. He just cut down another lion, and he's like, "Where the hell did these guys wander off to?" He's like, "I'm amazed they could get lost while riding a Kamenu." Of course, Zoro, the guy not on the Kamenu, would assume they got lost. So he sees a wharf and he goes, you know, I guess I should catch a ride. And then that's where Zoro takes off for this chapter. He's going on a boat ride. Every time Zoro gets on boats, there seems to be issues. Unless it's the Sunny. Who am I kidding? Every time he gets on the Sunny, it's an issue, but not specifically just him. But now we cut over to Inuyarashi. Always want to say his name weird. I don't know. But yeah, so Duke Inuyarashi sitting along a beach in Kuri, and he kind of having a nostalgic moment, thinking about, you know, some of the things that Kinemon talked about, you know, Wano being cramped, and how nostalgic this beach is, because they probably landed on this beach with Roger back in the day, and they talk about how they drifted here, and everyone in the town used to refer to him as Talking Cat or Talking Dog, and they all were scared of him, and the only one who was, you know, accepting to them was Oden. And you get a little flashback of little baby and Yurashi and Nekomamushi. They got lumps on their head from everyone bullying them. And then you got Oden in the background. It's like, you should all be ashamed. He's like, being afraid of those who look different only highlights your ignorance. So he really pushes forward this idea of acceptance. That Oden is, you know, very open-minded. He wants to open the borders. And he sounds similar to Luffy in some ways, you know. Just really cheerful, likes fighting, and he's just got open-mindedness, you know. Not that Luffy could put it as eloquently. But talk about, yeah, Inuyasha goes on to say, he's like, he was indeed our savior, a true hero, and he was their lord, you know. They really did view him as a leader and a king. He says, you know, Whitebeard was charmed. Whitebeard was charmed, and Roger was captivated by the samurai of Wano. And so they talk about how much they love their country. Even Inuyarashi and Nekomamushi just feel so much love for this country. And apparently they go on, you know, the whole time we've been cutting around. We've got Kinemon explaining the rest of what's happened to Oden. And all the Straw Hats are shocked. They're just horrified. They're hearing what probably happened to Oden. And then he just says, you know, our beloved Lord Oden was taken to the flower capital and executed as a criminal. And they're hearing all these great stories. And it's one side, it's Kinemon, but they're from 20 years ago. And Orochi is the villain. But it's one-sided. So, I mean, there could be more to the story, right? I don't know. I trust Oden. But yeah, he got executed, and all the Straw Hats are upset, and Luffy's like already ready to like fight Orochi, just jumping up and down. He's like, "Don't joke with me. That's dirty," you know. He can't believe how like corrupt Wano is right now, and this all happened 20 years ago. So that he's like reinstilling that, yeah, they're from a past. They're from 20 years prior, and that they've only moved forward recently. And so they're just barely here. It's like only weeks and weeks ago since Oden passed. Yeah, it was only a few months ago. And in these final moments, to the rest of them, why, you see so much sadness from Kinemon and all these guys, because from our perspective, when we were first learning about their story, it seemed like this had happened years ago. Wano country had been overthrown, and Oden had been killed, which it had been years ago, but to them, it was literally months ago. They moved forward in time, landed in Wano. They tried to escape Wano because they're not supposed to be there, and they needed to find reinforcements, Take and Yurashi and Nekomamushi, all these people. And all that happened while they're still coping with the death of Oden like it just happened. Everyone else has had years and years to kind of let this settle in. I mean, it's not that it's not over for them, but it's still really hard. It makes sense for a lot of why Momo has been so super emotional throughout all this. And yeah, so Sanji says, it's kind of impressive you guys managed to even escape that situation. And Kinemon even says, he's like, nobody was on our side, and he's like, in the desperation, all we had left was, going to the castle. And they ran to the castle, and on their way there, Nekomamushi and Inuyasha started arguing. So this kind of stems out where their big feud came from, was this singular moment 20 years ago. And they were caught by Orochi, and they, to them, they thought they were dead, but I guess at some point they managed to escape. And so the rest of the samurai, the 9 scabbards, as they would put it, they were racing to the castle, no matter who died, just to get there as fast as they could. So they knew that next they were going to try and kill Momonosuke. And so they ran to the castle as fast as they could, and Kaido already beat him to it. He lit the whole Oden's castle on fire. So Kaido's the one who destroyed Oden Castle, and where the ruins way laced. I cannot talk. And by the time they got there, yeah, it was already on fire. Luckily, Momonosuke and Lady Hiyori. Oh, I guess it's his sister? That's crazy. Did she not go back in time? I didn't notice this the first read through. Apparently, yeah, he has a sister, Lady Hiyori, and then there's Lady Toki, and that's Momonosuke's mom, and Oden's wife, and she just kind of, and Kinemon kind of says, he's like, this may be hard to believe, and there have been rumors that Lady Toki was born from like a very distant past. And in the flashback, she says, it's impossible for people to travel to the past. She's like, but traveling to the future is very possible. And traveling further and further is using the mysteries. Or she's been traveling further and further using the time ability. So she had a devil fruit. Yeah, time devil fruit. It's not as overpowered as it would have been. When you think about them first playing with time, it's like going into the past, you can change anything. But just going to the future with the knowledge of the past is still very powerful, but it's also hard. It doesn't get overpowered because it's like she has to give up a lot of friends or family or whatever along the way every time she moves forward. And even maybe it's a few moments, maybe it's not, but also it's not like she can change what's happened beforehand. The only thing she can do is avoid what's to come. It's, if that makes sense, because it seems like they get removed from time itself. They get pulled out because it's like, it's not like they're standing in place for 20 years and just move really quick through it. It's like they get warped there. And so yeah, you miss out on a bunch of that, and there's no other benefit other than maybe in battle, like someone tries to attack you, you move 2 seconds forward, and you avoid like a critical blow or something because you warped out, and now you're standing in the same position but behind them because they charged you or something, That would be my best understanding of how you could incorporate into the combat. But other than that, it's not really good. It's not like you can just like freeze time or like go back and stop a fatal blow or something. It's not that overpowered. And so she even says, we've came to the terminus of our journey, and she's like, for Oden, she's like, I will remain here, and she's like, this is where she wanted to stay in time. She was the happiest, and she feels like this is her moment. And then so Kinemon's crying and yelling. He's like, can we stop it? He's like, if we travel into the future, he's like, we will definitely fulfill Oden's wishes. And he's like, we'll definitely take down Orochi and Kaido and open up the borders to Wano. They want to make Oden's dreams come true. Friggin' ambition and drive, man. Gotta respect the samurai. Wano Kuni. So yeah, they leave Momo in all the retainers' care, and then she warps them forward. And just like that, they come back and they're in the middle of the ruins, confused and lost. And Lady Hiyori is missing. What if that teacher's Lady Hiyori? That would be wild. That would be my first guess, I guess. Kinemon starts crying after, because this is still in the past, where maybe 3 or 4 months before they meet the Straw Hats or something. But yeah, this is in the past. Kinemon's looking at the graves of everyone, themselves and their mother and his father. And so that's proves the truth of Lady Toki's power, I guess, is where they all lead to this understanding. They've been warped forward. And they're 20 years after the incident. They're seeing Wano with all these factories, and they can't believe how different it looks and the same it is. And to them, they were just lost. They were in an unknown world. They traveled over Wano to kind of figure out what was going on. There's, so tons of factories, and they saw how polluted and bad the food and water was. And the village that they grew up in, the Oden's Curie, just destroyed. And they realized that, Wano wasn't the Wano they were from before. And they didn't know what to do. They didn't think they'd be able to find people to help them. But then, they find Luffy. Luffy's got this serious face at this point. And they also find out that there's still samurai that are running around that believed in what Lady Toki said, her curse or foreseeing, if anything, her poem about how, the samurai of Wano will return in 20 years and reclaim Wano. And her last words were kind of a calling sign, a proof that these people were going to be back. But they couldn't find any of the other scabbards besides themselves who got moved forward in time. And they did, however, find a bunch of local samurai, not top-notch, but that would wait for Momonosuke and them to come back and are willing to fight Orochi at a moment's notice, which is great. That's good for them. There's still some strong camaraderie, everyone hasn't given up on the Wano of the past. So they wear a crescent moon on their ankle. That's what makes them stand out. I don't know how common tattoos are at this time within Japanese culture. If they were more acceptable, I'd say it'd almost make you stand out too much if you notice a bunch of guys with the same tattoo. But, maybe Orochi and them already have people who've kind of wormed their way in. Or maybe they're unaware. I don't know. It's one or the other. But yeah, they're all awaiting commands. And and Kinemon and them are shocked that people have waited 20 years just to follow through on this plan. They feel a bigger amount of responsibility not to give up on the cause. Not too hot. Not too hot. And so Kiku's been gathering intel on everyone while they've been here. And the rest of them went and searched for different people to help their cause. By leaving the country, they were spotted like instantly. So they were in pursuit, and they don't have really any navigation skills or don't really work boats, because Wano's a closed country. They got shipwrecked like really quick, and Raizo got separated from like on their way to Zhao, and so Raizo somehow gets up to Zhao, gets up on top of Zhao, and then so they were drifting aimlessly, and they ended up in Dressrosa at this point, and that's where they get separated from Conjuro, and Kinemon proceeds to chase after Momonosuke. And Momonosuke gets taken to Punk Hazard, so we're getting kind of flashbacks of all this stuff. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but it is still tying it all together. Just putting everything in a time frame here for us, making it easy. And so when they arrived at Punk Hazard, dealt with Caesar and more of Kaido's men, and that's when they finally met Luffy and all them. And they kind of think they're talking about how it's like we went through crisis after crisis, but it was all for the blessing of meeting the Straw Hats. And then they're like, even though Orochi's troops know our names, we are saved by the fact that they do not truly believe in our presence. They think that we're ghosts. It's cool because they still don't know that they have came back, or else things would start getting really tight in Wano if for sure Orochi knew that. So there hasn't been any wanted posters of them or anything like that. They kind of break down that, they're still not under suspicion. And Kiku's even like, I didn't even realize you were one of their allies. And Kinemon's like, oh, sorry. He's like, that was my fault. Saji just screams in the back. He's like, hey, stop flirting. He's obviously in love with Kiku already, right off the bat. And Luffy is listening to Kinemon, and Kinemon kind of says, he's like, the most important part of this plan is we don't get exposed. And Luffy's like, got it. Really got that, Luffy? You really, really understand those words? And so he just kind of breaks down. He's like, so our current forces are, Straw Hats, led by Luffy, and the Heart Pirates, led by Law. Then you got the two Mink tribes, the Musketeers, led by Inuashi, and the Guardians, led by Nekomamushi. And then all the samurai that they've recruited over Wano to help with the intentions of rebelling. So he's saying ideally they need like 5,000 strong men. But the way Kinemon says it is like, but our intentions aren't to wage war. He's like, their goal is to gather information and take the commanders' heads. They're planning on following through on this plan in 2 weeks. It's called on the night of the fire, or not on the night. It's on the night of the fire festival, so it's a big festival they have in Wano, I suppose annually, and they have to go to Onigashima, which is kind of Kaido's little off island. It's a little island just on the outskirts outside of Wano. And Oda uses the term raid of Onigashima, and it breaks down like one of the editors or translators put, raid could be a possible for invoking the 47 Ronin assassination incident, so it may tie into some actual historical Ronin battle. But they're gonna go to Kaido's island and take him on. Now we get to chapter 921, Shutenmaru. So this is the one the guy I kept referencing earlier. It's gonna introduce him, the play he kind of has in this story. Doesn't really show off a lot, but it'll be good. So Oda does the cover for Shonen Jump this week. You got Zoro and Luffy crossing blades, and then Kaido with this nice intimidating look. You can actually see his eyes for once. And then we get an image of Big Mom. Well, we get an image, double page spread of most of the babes of One Piece. You got Big Mom. Yeah, Big Mom. And then you got Vivi wearing a summer outfit, kind of, loose shirt and short shorts. She got her blue lady cap on. It's a big lady cap. You got Boa Hancock rocking a little tiara. She's wearing some, like, it looks like some crazy designer coat, and then she's got a white short dress that's polka dot that has their pirate empress type deal, their Jolly Roger on it. Got Nami rocking very fashionable, it looks like work outfit, kind of 60s retro look, wearing a big crown. You got Nico wearing a plaid leather jacket. She got the skirt. Great. Prona's in standard Prona gear, just tons of stripes and pinks and purples and too many friggin' I don't even know what, like, soft pink colors. I'm trying to think of what that is, but anyways. Ishigi looking formal, but still rocking the short shorts. Got these weird polka dot short shorts and a striped t-shirt. Very well tight button up with the tie. Shirahoshi's too big to fit in the picture. Then you got it says Tokyo Girl Collection is what Oda named this double spread. Yeah, you got Chopper jumping in the front with a shirt that says support girls. So yeah. And then yeah, so chapter hops right after where we were at. Talked about how it's the decisive battle is gonna be on Onigashima, and that's Kaido's headquarters. That's his main base. And so, Brook asks, he's like, do we have to sail there? He's like, we're already in Wano, aren't we? And he's like, yeah, we'll have to sail there. And we do possess a ship to be used for that mission. He's like, but the island's close enough, you can see it from the country. And just from the shores of Wano, so they don't need like a full big ship or anything. They can just run them over quick. It won't take long. And yeah, it'll be during the Fire Festival. It's a big festival that's held every year by the residents of the capital. Then they say they consider Kaido to be a wise king who protects his country. So they look at him as this defender, this king who came into reigns after the tyranny of Oden, essentially. So on the day of the festival, Orochi and, all of the shogun's processions take to, like, catering to Kaido to pay their respects to him. So they hold this big banquet for Kaido. I could go. Oh, pocket. And so Sanji's like, so while they're all drunk and hammered, we'll take down the commanders. And he's like, well, maybe Okiku will fall in love with me once she sees my galleon form. And instead of being in love with that perverted samurai. We've all seen your galleon form. Until you throw on that raid suit, Sanji, you bummed us out, man. You let us down during the whole cake. There's things I'll say you did good. You're a damn intelligent leader when it comes to running things yourself. You were a jackass during all of Whole Cake. You didn't do shit. Luffy carried you through that whole arc. Nami carried more than you did, dude. And Luffy just kind of tells Sanji, he's like, she's super strong too, man. And Kinemon has to, like, he's got to address this. He's like, nah. He's like, you have a misunderstanding, Sanji. He's like, I already have a wife. I already have a proper wife. He's like, Kiku's just a like-minded ally. And Kiku's like, oh yeah, Utsuru's doing well. And Kinemon just has this, like, oh god. He's like, you met her? It sounds like he's having an affair with Yokiku. It's so strange. And he's like, she's like, oh yeah, without her even meeting or recognizing me. And like, oh, well, I'm glad she's all right. He's like, but I can't meet with her yet. He's like, not yet. And Sanji's just getting pissed. He's like, why the hell's a married man like you so popular. He's like, God damn it. Nami's like, you're being too loud. So they have this symbol for what they're gonna send out to people to kind of let them know what they're gonna do. It's just a bunch of symbolism. But at the Habu port, when twilight comes on the festival, or on the night of the festival, our plans shall commence. But essentially, it shows two of the Kozuki clan birds crossing necks, and then their like butts are on fire, essentially, just like the end. I don't know the way it looks, but the birds are on fire, and then they're standing on top of a snake, and in the middle is a crescent moon. And so they're saying, they put it as like the will of the rebellion, the waning crescent moon. They're saying the crescent moon between the snake and the bird standing over the snake means that, you know, they're gonna wage war against Orochi, because Orochi represents a snake, and the Kozukis, yeah, the clan of birds. I don't understand what bird they are. They might be, the name is Kozuki, is a type of bird in Japanese. But yeah, the waning moon represents that they're gonna start a rebellion. Luffy's just looking at it, he's like, what? And yeah, so Kinemon says, he's like, no, the people, you know, they'll understand instantly. He's like, but for foreigners, it's kind of hard. He's like, but 5:30, 6 o'clock, he's like, that's about when. He's like, the birds, the two birds symbolize twilight. And he's like, and we spread these cards out as quickly as we possibly can. Those have the mark of the crescent moon. So those people will relay it to the people they trust. And they say that mark will start the rebellion, you know, that all of our allies will know. And Kinemon says, like, we don't know exactly where to find these people, but he's like, I've sent out various people, you know, to kind of search around the country and make sure these cards get to their allies. And he's like, Zoro and Usopp, what he calls Zorojuro, and Usahachi are they're stationed in the capital. And Luffy's like, oh, I guess Zoro hasn't been really useful then, huh? And so he goes on to kind of break down what the other Straw Hats have been doing this whole time, where they what he set up for him, at least. So you got so when they get to Onigashima, they need to have like a plan of how the layout of the whole building is, how the whole thing they're in, or kind of get blueprints, I guess, of how they're gonna break in and take down Kaido, and understanding, you know, full power of the terrain they're on. So they have Frankie working on building blueprints of the buildings on Onigashima. So he's working as an apprentice for a guy who built Kaido's residence. Then you have Orobin. Yeah, sorry, I wanted to say it. It's Franosuke is Frankie's name. I guess that's the closest he could get to getting Frankie in there. But then you have Orobino, or just Orobin. Is that what it is? Yeah, Orabi. It's Orabi. But yeah, you have Orabi working as a geisha within the castle, trying to track down Orochi's army and their movements, and receiving as much intel as she can get. And so yeah, she's masquerading as a geisha, and Sanji's just like, oh god, I can't wait to see Robin. It's like, it's a geisha? His eyes are just swooning at it. And so as for the rest of them, Brook and all them, I guess Brook's gonna be a big part of this this mission. Is like, his power is gonna be quite useful. So something to do with the soul fruit. But I guess it's gonna secure food for them, and you know, that's kind of weird. Like, I don't see where that's coming in. But Kinemon has a plan for it. And Brook's just like, oh, all right. And Nami, because of her weather techniques, he says it's like practically ninjutsu. It looks just like jutsu spells. So Nami's like, oh, be a female ninja. And then Sanji He's just getting so stoked on Nami dressing as a Kunoichi. He's loving Wano. Uh, he's like, well, with Sanji's culinary skills, he's like, he'll be able to draw in crowds and help for finding people we've been looking for. Carrot and Chopper, because they look like animals, are gonna just meet up with Inuyasha and help there. And you got Kinemon who's gonna make outfits for everyone so they blend in, and Chopper just is yelling, he's like, Kinemon, I wanna be a ninja too. And so he has everyone put a leaf on their head. Nami's envisioning what she'll look like as a ninja. She just thinks she'll have this mask over her face and wearing all black, And then Kinemon blasts it. He's like, here we go, close jutsu. And you got Brook, who looks like a spirit. He's got all these maybe he's gonna be securing food for them by acting like a god of a temple or something like that. Maybe. But Carrot just kind of looks like a ninja. She's just, I don't know, like a local. She's just wearing, a scarf to cover her ears, and then she's got a kimono on. And then you got Sanji, who's just got a standard kimono, just because he's going to be, a casual. He's just going to be a cook, You got Chopper all decked out in ninja gear. He's got some ninja stars on him. And then a little samurai sword behind him. And then you got Nami. I mean, Oda's giving it all out there, man. These last couple arcs, there's just cleavage. Just endless cleavage and a very, very short kimono. Yeah, she's got a great Kunoichi outfit. And like, all right, so you all have your missions. Go blend in with the cultures. And we'll meet back in 2 weeks. And Nami's like, hold on, Kinemon. He's like, is this really what a Kunoichi should be wearing? And Kinemon's just got this big grin, nosebleed, and he's like, that's the attire of a Kunoichi? He's like, totally is. And she's like, you sure you're not lying to me? And so he's like, come on. He's like, I'll call in the person who'll guide you. She's a real Kunoichi. And so Shinobu, people have, she may be like, real close to being compared to Tsunade in a lot of ways, but we'll see. And so they're all, Brook and Sanji are all stuck like, real Kunoichi. And then Shinobu drops down. She's completely like covered. She's got like, I don't know if it's white or just brown or whatever, because most of their outfits, people will misunderstand ninja and think they just wear black. It wouldn't work that well. It's really hard for them to maneuver around, and they'd stand out actually, because most scenes where they're moving through, it's not all black, it's dimly lit, so they'd stand out more. It's usually like brown or gray or something like that. But she's dressed completely different from Nami. Nami just slaps Kinemon, sends him flying, and Sanji's just in shock. He can't believe how not disgusting, I don't know, unattractive. He expected someone way more attractive after seeing Nami. And Luffy asks, Brook, he's like, what's up with your outfit? And Brook's kind of like, oh, I thought I'd be on, I thought it was someone with their panties on their head, but I was wrong. And you got Kinemon crawling on the ground. He's like, there's 2 types of Kunoichi. And Nami's trying to figure out if she can get her kimono to kind of tighten up, at least cover up a bit. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to close this up. And so Shinobu's like, oh, no, it's fine, since you're young, it's, you should wear clothing appropriate to that, I guess, is what she's saying. She's like, my name's Shinobu. And in the past, she was Kinemon's protege, but now her techniques are that she excels the most at are art of bewitchment. So kind of like Tsunade in that sense. But you got Sanji like just groveling on the ground, just so traumatized. He's like, if it wasn't for Nami being here, he's like, my heart would have been shattered. And she's just like, I understand your pain. He's like, attractive older women are lethal weapons after all. And So yeah, Kinemon just again says, he's like, hey, well, everyone go to your respective areas. He's like, we'll gather together as much information and supplies as we can. He's like, but the most important part is we talk about the three samurai in particular. They have to find, they can locate them. Their assets are worth 100 men each, is how he puts it. So the names are Kawamatsu. I'm gonna butcher these. Denjiro and Ashura Doji. So Ashura Doji is still around, and that's Oden's former rival to a degree, I guess. They all are. I guess he was his rival for a moment before he started working under Oden. But they all served under Oden, and so they should be alive, is how Kinemon puts it. So then goes over to Okabori town, and there's a bunch of people screaming. You know, the Atamayama thieves are here, and they're like running and fearing. So just after Luffy and them have already left, they are getting robbed by a group of bandits and thieves, and you know they're all screaming, you know, Luffy Taro gave us those, and one of the henchmen is like, Master Shutenmaru, we got some good stuff here, man. And you know, all the citizens are just crying. You know, they finally had something good happen to them. They weren't gonna starve for this month, and they're already being robbed. And Shutenmaru's like, who the hell would do this? He's like, is there some chump out there trying to be a hero? He's talking about Luffy, and Shutenmaru is a character, that's for sure, man. He's all laid out on the back of this big bowl, just literally like laid out, just like lounging like this. Got sake in one hand and samurai sword in the other. He's like, oh, what short-lived heroism. He's like, it was rendered moot as soon as we came to steal this stuff. Like, there's no samurai left to protect this country. He's like, only the weak deserve to stay weak. He's like, there are no longer any samurai left in this town. He's like, nobody can protect the weak people here. He's like, this country no longer has real men. So I could see this guy fighting Frankie, but I don't think he's a part of Kaido's crew. He has this real ideal of what a man is, but he's like, only strong samurai here. You know, their days are numbered. It's the time is gone. Like, isn't that right, Granny? If you continue to live, you will witness only the cruel truth. So it sounds like he's kind of an anti-hero. Like, he's villainous right now, but he has different ideals about how this country should be. So he's kind of just given up. And, you know, people are still pleading with her. And he's like, I'm going to kill her now. You know, he's going to cut the granny down. And she says, you know, I believe in Lady Otaki's final words. And he's like, Shutenmaru is just like, yeah, but she's dead. She's like, well, the 9 samurai will definitely carry out Lord Oden's wish. So there's still people like Okabori Town that believe in this. They heeded the words of Lady Toki. One of his henchmen come charging up, screaming, Master Shutenmaru. He's, boom. Next page. Who shows up? The glorious and idiotic Jack the Drought. And he's like, so finally, gonna meet these thieves. Like, pirate named Straw Hat Luffy should be in this area. Jack's on the back. They call him an all-star in this one, or a calamity is how we'd heard it before. He's riding on the back of, God, it's like a shark or a lizard. Probably a lizard, though, knowing what we've seen on this island. There's been a lot of lizards, and them riding them in particularly. Shutenmaru's just like, if I tell you I don't know him, that change your attitude. And Jack's like, we've only let you live this long because Kaido-san wants you to be a part of his, be one of his subordinates. And Shutenmaru's like, well, here's your answer. And he just tries to cut down. He charges him. God, can't believe he can move that fast. He charges Jack and just cuts him lengthwise across his chest. And Jack just just takes it like usual. Jack's so strange, dude. I feel like he's a moron. He's just insanely strong. You just can't kill him. Like Kaido, like it just can't kill him. And Shutenmaru's like, don't underestimate samurai. So Jack starts crossing blades with them. They have this high level duel, as everyone's saying behind them. And so everyone moves back so Jack and Shutenmaru can fight. And everyone in Okabor is like, this is the end. You know, our town's gonna get destroyed. And Shutenmaru's like, I didn't die back then, so there's no way a small fry like you can take me out. And someone screams, Bastard Jack. Over there, look at the sky. And bam, shit just keeps getting more and more crazy. And Jack's like, oh god, no. And they look up and the sky's swirling where all the pollution's building up from these smokestacks. And everyone's like, oh man. And you got Sachi and Penguin. And they, you know, like, what the hell's with this change? He's like, is it about to rain? Law knows. He's like, no. He's like, tells Luffy to get over here. And Luffy comes over. So everyone's looking up to the sky. And a couple people, you know what's going on. They're running away. And Jack's just staring. And he's just like, oh, man. And from the sky, you hear, hey, Jack. He's like, bring those brats to me right now. You get this huge panel of Kaido. Kaido ate the dragon devil fruit. Yeah, he's strongest beast, and yeah, he ate like one of those, like, it's kind of like Momonosuke. It's like one of those cloud crawler dragons, but he's floating, serpenting along through the sky. God, it's a cool panel. It looks really crazy. He's got his big scar on his chest. Luffy's like, dragon? He's like, what the hell? And even Momonosuke turned back into a dragon because he's all nervous. Law just says that's Kaido. Yep, Kaido already made an appearance. What do you do? But yeah, so that's Snoop Reviews covering chapter 920, I Love Oden, and chapter 921, Shutenmaru. So we'll catch you next time. We'll be doing 22 and 23 and slowly working our way back up to current stuff. We're just about there. A new chapter comes out tomorrow. I read the spoilers for it. Looks insane. This chapter's gonna be really good. Oh, man. And it's not gonna be on break, I guarantee it. It's so good. Anyways, later.